Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Hojo Rock and Roll, and this is my analysis of the second Republican or GOP debate, which occurred on the 16th of September, last night. Just for you guys that don't know, everybody has one, and I have an opinion too. I'm 6 hours ahead of the East Coast time, so I had to stay up until 3 o'clock to start of this, 3 o'clock in the morning, stayed up till 5 listening to this debate because I wanted to get it live, and I did. And for the most part, it was worth it. But I got to say, starting off, let's talk about CNN and the commentators and the questions. What kind of, high school, junior high school, got you, amateur questions were there? There was a lot of these stupid he said, she said, just stupid sort of questions to create infighting, and for the most part, the candidates, they did respond, but for the most part, they didn't go for there were no knockout punches. Okay, there was a lot of basically spitballs going back and forth. Let me fix my lights here. There's basically a lot of spitballs going back and forth, and nobody really knocked anybody out. There's a few, jabs here and there, but that really pissed me off that CNN didn't ask serious questions throughout the whole night. They started out with these stupid, name-calling type questions. So that's number one, and that really irritated me. Now, right off, not a lot of people, but some people, many people, commentators have said they thought that former HP executive Carly Fiorina did quite well. Now, it is true, from a strictly debate point sort of standpoint, she did stand her ground and she did make some good points. But her whole demeanor makes you wonder, like, do I want this woman in the White House? I mean, she's a woman who cannot serve an active duty combat, and yet she's probably she was the most verbally warmongering person on the stage there about how she's going to do this and how she's going to do that. And it really came across as, you stupid bitch. Do you even know how to shoot a gun? Have you ever even wrestled? I mean, what the fuck are you talking about, right? It sounds like, well, quite frankly, some of the women that I know in my life, in my past, who have been talking this shit about how tough they are. And you're like, you can't do anything. You can't do anything, really. And that bothers me, because a lot of people on the left and the feminists like to argue, if there was just more women in high office, there would be less wars. And if you just listen to this woman, how much of a warmonger is she? And she can't even fight. So it's just ridiculous, okay? It's just ridiculous. Now, let's go through some of the other candidates. I'm just looking at a picture of the male candidates from the first debate who were all in the second debate, and I'm just going to kind of go down the list, give you my opinion of how they did. First, I see Chris Christie, the governor of New Jersey. He did quite well. Now, he's a Republican governor of a basically Democrat state, and he did very well on the debate. I think he held himself pretty strongly, and he also made some comments about, listen, we got to stop fighting each other. This is very amateurish, kind of, junior high school, and let's focus on the issues and focus on Hillary Clinton, who potentially, although maybe not potentially, could be the Democrat candidate on the other side. But I think Chris Christie did very well. So he does not have to drop out. Oh, by the way, any of those candidates from the first debate, you all need to drop out. Just stop wasting our time. Pataki, give us a break, man. The other guy, just okay, Jindal, though. Jindal, I like Jindal. I wish he could break out, because I think as a Indian, a Christian, American, that's just a side issue, but he is a very smart, articulate person. I wish he could stay in. I hope he can stay in a little bit longer. Oh, next on the list is for Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Again, this is a smart guy. He reminds me of, do you remember, you probably have somebody in either high school or in college who was really a smart speaker, really well knowledgeable person who always sort of took the high ground, right, mostly, but when he spoke very eloquently, and that's who he reminds me of, right? Sort of not just, I know a person who was an egghead, but he was also a bodybuilder. He was really a cool guy. That's kind of how Rubio reminds me of, but he's just too young. He's not JFK, and he would be a good VP. I think he would be a good VP to an older person. We'll get to him later. But we already have a one-term senator in the White House, and you see how that worked out. Okay? Now, I'm not trying to equate these two because Marco Rubio certainly has a lot more experience, it seems, than the current occupant of the White House, Barack Hussein Obama. But I don't think he's going to make it. So I think you should drop out and go for the VP. Support whoever's the leading candidate. Next is neurosurgeon Ben Carson. So right there, neurosurgeon. Come on, he's a doctor. Now I appreciate any doctors because having gone to medical school, I know how tough it is to be a doctor, and then how tough it is to get it. Whatever. It's a tough process, but he really did a great job in his profession, and he's a smart man, and he's a compassionate person, and honestly. But I don't think when people get into that final box to vote, I don't think he just. At this point, I still don't think he has the gravitas to handle the situation. He just seems too intellectual, maybe too calm. I don't know. He had a couple of good points there. In terms of how to get Osama bin Laden in the debate, where, hey, look, if we just would have announced that in 5 years we're going to be energy independent, these Middle Eastern countries probably would have handed him over. Who knows, right? Maybe, maybe not. But it was a great idea, right, to use your brain instead of military might all the time. But, that's what an egghead would say, right? I'm not going to fight the guy. I'm going to use my logic to get out of the fight. All right? Okay, that doesn't work all the time. Next is Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. Now, I like what he's done in Wisconsin, at least in terms of fighting the unions, fighting the teachers' unions, fighting these people, really working hard. He had to face, 3 sort of special, recount elections or re-elections, right? Which was really insane that he was forced to go through that. But he won, and he has proven himself. Now, he's the only candidate that I'm aware of who does not have a college education, at least a formal college education. And sometimes it shows, right? But that's not a pure negative. I think he could do okay, but I think he's not going to make it. He needs to drop out. Although I would like to have a governor in the race. I'm sorry, Scott Walker, you probably should drop pretty soon. Oh, now I'm going to go to the other side of the picture. I've got John Kasich, who is the governor of Ohio. A good guy. I like him. But, the way he's coming across a little bit like Newt Gingrich, who, to his credit, him and John Kasich were involved in the Clinton administration, in the contract with America, which helped restore balance to the. In fact, there were budget surpluses as far as the eye could see by the time they finished their, by the time they finished their time in office. So I give him credit. I think Kasich would be really a good, Secretary of the Treasury, perhaps, or somehow involved in the budget process, right? Really helping force Congress to work with the White House to come up with a balanced budget very quickly. Within a year, 2 years, within 2 budget cycles, they should be able to rebalance the budget. It's not going to be easy, perhaps, but I think this will be a lot easier than you think. Next in the picture, we have Rand Paul. Now, Rand Paul is not as fiery as his dad, and he's got plenty of time to build up that sort of gravitas, I guess you could call it. He's too much of an isolationist, and in this world, we need someone to be maybe not muscular foreign policy, but definitely a lot more muscular foreign policy, because what we have now is on the verge of isolationism in a weird way, lead from behind bullshit, and we see where that's gotten us. It just leaves power vacuums for bad guys to people with bad intentions to fill those vacuums. So I'm sorry, Rand Paul, you got to drop. You should drop. You got less than 5%. Anybody with less than 5% should drop after this debate. Okay? Now we've got Ted Cruz, not to be confused with Tom Cruise by any major stretch of the imagination. Now Ted Cruz, he is the only quote-unquote principled conservative on the stage. Huckabee may be a close second. I don't know, maybe. We'll get to Huckabee next. But I hate your voice, Ted Cruz. I just hate the sound of your voice. So either, number one, you get some voice lessons to deepen that voice, to get some resonance in there, get the baritone up the baritone. Or get one of those voice boxes, I'm Ted Cruz. I cannot stand your voice. I'm sorry. So whatever point you're trying to make, I don't even want to say what you sound like, but you know what you sound like, and it's not good. Okay, it's just not good. Next, we've got former Arkansas Governor Huckabee. Listen, we all have issues with our weight as we get older. At least Chris Christie was cognitive enough to get the stomach surgery or gastric bypass or lap band surgery to help him lose weight. And you can see it in his face. You can see that he is losing weight. Chris Christie is losing weight, trying to get healthy. Huckabee, you're getting bigger. You're getting bigger. And this is a stressful job in the White House. And I need to see you start working out. I like you. I like that but you're not, it's not resonating with the people. I'm sorry, just not resonating with the people, and you're going to have to drop very soon. You're at the bottom as well, under 5%. You're going to have to probably go soon. Now that leaves me with just two more candidates. We've got Jeb Bush, former Florida governor, who did pretty well in Florida. I guess 3-term governor, lower taxes, did a lot of good stuff. He did kick up the energy game this debate. Did definitely kick up the energy a little bit. A few jabs, a few elbows he threw at Trump, but no knockout blows, brother. No knockout blows. And I think we're just tired of hearing the name Bush and Clinton. So I'm not telling you to drop out because you are in the top, let's say top 5. So you can hang in there a little while longer. But did much better this debate. I should say did much better this debate than last time. So that's a positive for Jeb Bush. But no knockout blows and no breakaway moments. So, the one negative moment was, you sounded like a pussy, Jeb. And that's my wife you're talking about. And she's right there in the audience, and I think you should apologize to her, the love of my life. Give me a break. And that brings us to Trump. Trump, who said, no, I'm not going to apologize because I said nothing wrong. You gotta love Donald Trump. Sticking to his guns. Okay, the only other childish high school, not the only one, but another one was the Carly Fiorina one, where it was brought up that he said that, about Carly, Donald said, are you going to put that face in the White House, whatever. And come on, it's politics, baby. It's politics. You're a woman. You're not that attractive. You got a horse face. Let's just be honest. You're not ugly, but you're not that attractive. And your demeanor, again, Carly's demeanor, the whole night was just, stupid bitch. So angry. Man, someone's calling me. Oh my God. Ooh. Where are we at? Oh my God, we're still filming. Oh my God, okay, sorry about that. That was an important business call. Important business call. You never know when people are going to call you. Come on, bring it up. So with Trump, okay, talking about Trump. So I think he really acquitted himself well. Look, he was on the defense most of the time, but he was able to get some aggressive, he was able to throw out some elbows also. And a lot of times he did it with a little bit of humor, a little bit of sarcasm. And I liked it. He's not backing down, although he did say she has a beautiful face, she's a beautiful woman. I think he meant that sarcastically. And he, you understand, he didn't backtrack from the original comment, but he said, look, let me clarify. I'm not saying that she's ugly. I'm saying the personality, the mannerisms, the persona of this woman in the White House. And as I said, from the debate of last night, you can see her persona. She's trying to be this aggressive, strong woman, and I don't want to call her a bitch. I don't want to call her that, but that's how she's coming across. These other guys can be strong without being nasty, you know what I'm saying? And there's got to be a way for her to smile more, to make that connection with the people, because I didn't see that. And she just seemed irritated and angry, and there's no way. With 3% of the polls, she's not going to win. There's no chance she's going to win. Could she be a cabinet member? Could she be a cabinet member or a member of let's say a Trump administration cabinet? I think she could. I'm not sure what that would be right now. I'm trying to think what that could be. But certainly if she and Trump can remain on, she's sure Secretary of State. Maybe another woman as Secretary of State. Is that an idea for you guys? Anyhow, I think Trump did really well. I think Christie did okay, did better. I think Bush did better than last time. Who else stood out? Rubio did okay. You know, Carson, you know, I like the guy. Like I said, I think there's a place for him in administration, but it's not president or VP, you know. But, you know, where he could probably have the most effect is, I don't want to say like housing and urban development, but, you know, health director or what do they call it, medical czar, something like that, or something like that. He definitely could have a cabinet post or definitely play a role in the administration of Trump. I think he could play in the role. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, I would love to hear from you. What are your comments? What did you take away from this second debate? Do you agree with me that anybody with less than 5% should just immediately drop out of the race? Because let's thin this herd out. Because let's get, even though we have time, if this is all we're dealing with, anybody below 5% needs to drop out. Because it's just ridiculous. You know, these 1%ers running in this race. Well, until next time, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this show. And I'll see you in the next video. Until then, I'm Holy Joe Rock and Roll, and this has been In the News, Republican primary coverage and analysis.